Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Quaker Sports Recap. Last week was another busy week for our teams. I stopped by games played by boys volleyball, boys soccer, and football, which I'll tell you about next. Let's get right to it! Thursday was senior teacher night for our Quakers varsity football team. Before the game, each senior recognized a teacher who taught them something important during their time at Orchard Park. After the ceremony, the Quakers taught the visiting Niagara Wheatfield Falcons a bit about football on the turf. On the opening play from scrimmage, Carter Switek ran the ball 62 yards, put the Quakers 6-0. On their next play from scrimmage, a 38-yard pass from Brady Ciano to Jack Ciano put up the Quakers 14-0. The route was on. Jack Ciano, the section leader in touchdowns, finished the evening with 118 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, and had another one called back due to an unfortunate penalty. Zach Dana added a receiving touchdown of his own. Zach Nawadi added a pick 6 to close out the scoring for Orchard Park. Zach Dana added 2 more interceptions for the Quakers, and safety Mason Dahmer added one as well in a strong defensive effort. Patrick Budney led the way with 7 tackles for the Quakers. With the win, OP moves to 6 wins and 1 loss on the season, heading into a big matchup against the Big Bad Bennett Tigers. Afterward, I caught up with Coach Cieslik to talk about the game.
Today was a big win for OP, especially starting out the right foot, going 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. How did you keep the team humble and focused and not let them get too cocky after such a big lead?
Max, a great question. The best part to answer that question is I don't have to do that. We are led by incredible seniors, which starts with our 5 captains but extends through our senior group, and they are just excited to play football together. And so, they know how we feel about it, and they know how serious we take football here and how hard we work to, accomplish our goals. So the best part is they don't, they're in the moment and they worry about the next play. They don't look at it as far as cocky goes or having to be humble. We're just looking to play football together. So senior leadership handles that for me.
Now, Jack Ciano said he had not 1, not 2, but 3 receiving touchdowns today. Was the involvement he had in the game plan, was that pre-planned before the game, or did that adjust throughout the game?
Last week, Hutch Tech had a really good game plan, one of the stronger game plans we've seen against Jack. They doubled him up and bracketed him with a guy underneath and a guy over the top. We expected to see that for the rest of the season. Niagara Wheatfield didn't do that. Jack is undoubtedly one of our best offensive weapons. So, our job is to get our weapons the football. So, if they're going to try to cover Jack one-on-one, Jack's going to win that 99 out of 100 times. He actually had a 4th that was called back on a penalty. Should have had 4 receiving touchdowns. Really excited for Jack. I know Jack's not a numbers kid. He'll do anything I ask him to. He'll play center if I ask him to. He just wants to win football games. But he's closing in on a Quaker record. Dylan Evans, a great Orchard Park Quaker, had a 17 touchdown season for the Orchard Park single record. And with Jack's 3 today, that puts him at 15. So with a minimum of 2 games left, week 8 and the first round of the playoffs, Jack's got a chance to have a really special season receiving. So we're excited for him, happy for him.
And now, when you talk about injuries, especially on the line for offensive line and defensive line, so many injuries, how impressed are you with the players that have filled in their roles? Because you're not only continuing to win, you're continuing to win at an extremely high level against extremely high talent.
Yeah, Max, I get choked up when I talk about this because, you never know when your number gets called, and we just always tell the guys, you need to be working while you wait. In this season, we've had a lot of guys get called and be asked to be put in really difficult positions, and they've done an awesome job. I get emotional when I talk about this because I don't know how many teams in AA are on their 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th, and 12th linemen. We are, but like we always say, we'll play with 11, we'll play with 12, we'll play with 70. We'll play on the thruway or in a cornfield or here at Quaker Stadium. We're just really excited to play together and to spend time together. We got great guys on this team, so we're happy, excited, and I'm super proud of the guys who are stepping up. It's incredible.
Truly, it is incredible, especially considering that you guys beat Jamestown.
Tough team.
Very tough team.
Yeah, no doubt.
And now, talking about the weather today, as it gets colder and colder throughout the year, it was upper 30s, lower 40s, and throughout the game, the ground got wetter and the temperatures got colder. Did you adjust your game plan due to weather situations?
No, not at all. The only time we'll take some of that stuff into consideration is if it's an extreme day, snow, rain kind of stuff. But even then, at the end of the day, it comes down to execution and doing what you have to do and what you practice. And we are who we are, and we're led by some really talented, skilled players. So we're not going to change that just because of a little weather. We're all from Buffalo.
Oh, yeah. Tell me. Bill's Tailgates. Now, we talk about next week. You guys are playing the Big Bad Bennett Tigers, the 2022 state champions, who everyone's very familiar with at this point. How do you game plan to play such a skilled team?
Yeah, another great question. We take it each week at a time. So we spend all of our time and effort preparing for Niagara Wheatfield, and we were able to execute our plan. As soon as I get home, I won't be able to sleep. It's just the way I am on game days. So I'll start watching some Bennett film before I fall asleep, and our staff will start watching it tomorrow, and we'll have a game plan ready for Monday's practice. But at the end of the day, we are going to play ourselves first, and then we're going to play Bennett second. No doubt they're big, strong, and fast. But we got a pretty good football team here too, so we're excited to have them, come here next week Friday. It'll be fun.
That was a great game on a cool autumn night. I'm looking forward to see what they have planned for Bennett. Of course, football wasn't the only team with games last week. There was lots to cheer about. Let's see how all of our teams did. Football had a dominant win over Niagara Wheatfield on senior night and a tune-up for Friday's big game against Bennett. Field hockey had a big win over a very good Clarence team. Ella Fercucci had 2 goals while Hallie Sunfield finished the evening with 4 points. JV also had a big night against their junior squad. Girls tennis defeated Williamsville East 4-3 to capture the Section 6 championship. The doubles team of Adriana Roberts and Amelia Pirkak advanced to the New York State Championships. Boys soccer scored a nice shutout in the rain against the visiting Iroquois. Girls soccer also had an impressive shutout on the road at Sweet Home. Madison Shunk scored 2 goals with Sydney Doubtmeyer, Caroline Brown, and Abby Thorpe also scoring. We'll hear more from Abby coming up. Girls swimming captured the ECIC championship. Chloe Bobel, Alana Mastroni, and Ellie Stegner were high point for scorers for OP. Boys varsity volleyball dropped a couple, but JV continued to look strong. Girls volleyball lost their match against Lancaster, but JV was able to secure a victory. Great job, Quakers. Up next, we have a 7 or so questions segment with girls soccer player Abby Thorpe. Let's learn a little bit more about Abby.
What's your favorite subject?
Probably science.
Describe soccer in 3 words.
Fun. How do I describe it? Competitive and intense.
What's your favorite soccer memory?
Probably the bus rides home from away games.
What is one thing that you wish everyone knew about you?
That I'm just really awesome.
What do you want to do for a living when you get older?
I want to be a registered dietitian.
If you're working at an ice cream place, that's
Yeah, but that's just okay, whatever.
What are your favorite pizza toppings?
Cheese and pepperoni. Kind of a simple girl.
Hey, what is one thing on your bucket list you want to do before you graduate high school?
Probably just make the best of it.
Thank you for watching this week's Quaker Sports Recap. The playoff races are heating up, and there is a lot at stake with this week's games. I hope that you can get out and cheer on our teams. The weather is looking pretty good, and action will be hot on the field. Come watch a game, match, or meet, so together we can shout, "Go Quakers!"